السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, we are going to continue, inshallah, study the story of Mary in the Qur'an, and we just came up to this point. Somehow we mentioned before, that's why I'm going to just touch upon the subject and mention it in the Qur'an, and then pass on the following verses. واذكر في الكتاب Maryam, mentioned about in the book Mary إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا. Now, although this مكانا شرقيا side of the verse we studied, discussed, touched upon earlier on, but this time I wanted to emphasize on if انتبذت. When you read it according to Tajwid, إذ انتبذت من أهلها. Now it is strange. Mentioned in the book the story of Mary when she withdrew from her family. But we know that the Quran emphasizes on the importance of keeping the contact, especially with our relatives. Why, as if an ideal lady alone, a lady alone, is advised to withdraw from her family? I don't think you find it strange, but most of the people say, no, she must stay until she gets married within the family. That is general. It is really becoming looser and looser and less practiced in the Muslim world. But generally, Muslim population still expect their daughter to stay with them, and also in general, keep in touch with them. What is the importance of mentioning this in the Quran? I feel that her family refers to, first of all, her community, because these communities are in the earlier generations mostly related to each other. They are all relatives to each other in one way or another. But at the same time, I feel that the really metaphorical meaning of Ahliha, her family, is keep away from the culture inherited in the society and find your own way. You may find lots of corresponding points between the cultural elements and your findings, your personal responsibility that you have to establish your own belief, which the Quran heavily emphasizes on the importance of it, because belief is a personal first responsibility. Second, matter. We have to understand this. Why I stopped and said responsibility and then second matter, or we have to take care of it, because I feel that belief matter, you can learn some sort of information about belief from others, but at the end of the day, you have to confirm it. You have to be convinced about it. It is your personal matter. It is your personal responsibility. Sorry, it is your personal responsibility. Whereas when it comes to, it's a personal matter, yes. It doesn't mean that you cannot really teach me anything, means I have to develop myself. No, it is obvious that we cannot judge about anybody's belief. Even I dare to say my own belief. Which level is it? But I have the free choice to decide and say I confirm this or not. But how much of the reality, of the content of the belief matter, I have really digested. I may not be aware of it. I mean, even I can say I am not aware of it. This is what we have to know. Why we have to know? We have to always strive for strengthening our belief better and better, inshallah. So, min ahliha, it means from her family, keep away yourself from your family means, first of all, don't take up the culture, leave it there, study, come to the conclusion, and your conclusion agrees with the culture. That is an agreement between the culture and you. Belief matter is only reflects in your practical life after you confirm it. So don't imitate your environmental, whatever influences on you, but take care of yourself. I remember mentioning Sharqiyya means to a place towards the east. The Sharq and Gharb, it means east and west. It is used symbolically in the Qur'an, the truth and the, falsehood. But it doesn't mean geographical east and west. To me, as we see it, wherever we are, of course, east and west change. If you are here, this side is east. If we are in the south hemisphere, other side is east. So don't worry about it. Okay. What reflects or related to where the truth rises, sun rises, light comes to you, you receive light from. West, where the light goes down. As far as my practical experience of my day is concerned, let's pass this. Verse, again, section Mary, 17, verse 17, and secluded herself from them. Yeah, from everyone. And he kept her own development for her own self. It means, what I understand from it, she really concentrated on which way, which belief system she has to establish and come to the conclusion and confirm it. While she is really in the process of improving, perfecting her own personal matter, which is belief. I didn't say practical side of Islam, which is called Sharia, which is called religious requirements, any kind of permissions, prohibitions, and also rituals. Most of the time, Islam encourages us to perform our, especially prescribed worship activities like prayers, like fasting, Hajj especially, and also giving to charity, zakat. These are publicly, Islam encouraged us to practice them publicly. This is also important. Why? Because physically we have to demonstrate it. This is the physical appearance of our belief. We have to represent our belief physically in the society with our exposed, openly declared activities. That is what we shouldn't confuse. You know, religious matters are personal matters is wrong to me. So we have to make it specific. Belief matters are personal, but I can share my understanding with others. That is something else. But my belief belongs to me only, as we discussed. But when it comes to practical side of belief matter, which is prescribed worship activities, it is so much common that when it comes to it is zenith, the peak point, which is what we peak point of the rituals is, anybody? Anybody? Which one? Come on. Say something. Whatever comes to your mind.
Ascension?
Sorry?
Ascension.
No. I couldn't express myself. I'm not saying you are wrong. No, it means I couldn't express myself. Prescribed worshipful activities, how do you say, prescribed prayers, etc., etc. One of them is the highest one, which is the much more important.
Like prostration to submit your sense, your feelings.
Okay, still I couldn't express it. In terms of publicly announcing.
The pilgrimage.
Sorry?
The pilgrimage.
Exactly. That's what I was expecting the answer. I may be wrong, but I was expecting this answer. Pilgrimage. Worldwide, we are expected to make it, even though a woman may prefer to put niqab, cover her face as well. Although I dispute about it, and the ulama also, scholars also dispute about it, necessary or not. So that is not our subject. Leave it aside. They cannot cover their face during performing the Hajj. Impossible. If it was possible, Saudi government would impose it. So thank God that there is a fucking ruling about it. They have to. It is so interesting for those people who are interested in covering their face as well, etc. In the most public, crowded, people are within each other, hitting, touching, inevitable not to touch. Islam says you cannot hide your identity at all. open face. Your honor must be open. That is very interesting to me. It means, let alone in the street, you are not going to interact with anyone. In Hajj, you are prohibited. That is important. In Hajj, you are prohibited to cover your face. I don't think it is the Sharia rule to cover one's face. These are all interpretations of the way you read the Hadith narrations and interpret it according to your understanding, which I respect, which scholars' interpretations. I am not saying they did something wrong, but that is none of my business. But at the same time, we have to know that it is a matter of our understanding of the words mentioned in the Hadith narrations. So it is open to dispute or discussion. Okay, come this one now. She secluded herself from them, and then while doing this, if you like, spiritual development activities, engaged within herself, questioning everything within herself and utilizing her own feelings and trying to understand what do they refer to, etc., etc. Then we sent to her our spirit, Ruhana. Oh, what is this, our spirit? It means God's spirit. When it is used in this form, our, it means God. That is the Quranic language. Who appeared to her in the shape of a perfect human being. Now, we know that Ruh is used in the Quran in many ways, and one of the meaning of Ruh is Gabriel. That is what Quranic concept is all about. Yeah, that is what Gabriel is, Ruh. And also, Allah's command is used also as Ruh, Allah's command. We studied this while we were studying this Mary's conception. So we dealt with it. I'll leave it there. So وَنَفَخْنَا فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِنَا مِنْ رُوحِي وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Now, that means from Allah Himself directly, without any means, that we receive spirit with no material means at all, but the conception happens through, as we call it, very simple language. This is actually material means. Men and women should come together, but there is no other way. So we discussed this, as far as I remember. I think I discussed this with you, if not in another discussion group, but I discussed with you, I think with you, yeah. You know, what this miraculous creations, the nature of miraculous creations are, that we have to understand miraculous creation. We said one aspect of the miraculous creation we have to think of from God's perspective. That is called in the risale-i. Those people who are familiar with Nursi's writings, risale-i Nur, which is really very, very, very interesting collection of his writings. It's a huge collection, actually. So we can study, or if anybody is interested in it, can study it. In there, it is called risale-i itiqad. It means the sphere of belief side of the matter. And risale is not the sphere of this causal word. If we look at this, if we look at the subject from the sphere of God's absolute existence, so for God, every action of creation, every act of creation is miracle. No one can imitate even one moment of an electron in an atom, the structure of an atom that is theoretically talking, but not practically, no one can show it. Doesn't matter, but theoretically it works, and all the formulas and equations work according to this theory. So everybody agreed on it. The specialist business that, okay, no movement can happen. Not only my existence, not only existence of my hand, simple, or existence of my finger, but the one movement like this of my finger cannot happen unless this activity, existence of this activity, is attributed to its creator, absolute God. No one can really be the source of existence of movement. No, that is from this side, everything is miracles. How about from our side? I'm just summarizing what we discussed in details, this matter, so that we will be comfortable about the miracle narrations of miraculous activities going on, or events going on in the lives of the prophet. The prophets mentioned in the Qur'an, in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, then narrate lots of narrations mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad also physically demonstrated. These miracles we have to understand from our side. The order of the universe includes this rule, this principle, that the prophets must be given miracles so that the people will be convinced. Otherwise, how they will take seriously, take this man seriously, saying that I am receiving message from my God. They will say, you are lunatic. Why? What do you mean? Well, receiving from, where is it? So he has to demonstrate. It means definitely human beings need the demonstration of miracles. It is inevitable. So it is within the order of the universe that the prophets must be given miracles that is within the order of the universe we are accustomed to it. So if someone claims I am a prophet, I have every right to ask him, demonstrate a miracle. Who employed you? God. Who is God? The creator of the universe. So the creator of the universe must show me a sign. But we say, the miracle of Muhammad is the Qur'an. That is a big word, as the Qur'an says. You know, كبرت كلمة من أفواههم. So it is a big word. So if he has to perform it, and the Quran is at the end of the life of the prophet, was compiled, and we receive it now. First people who received the prophetic message, they had only 1 or 2 verses. And I mean, they are somehow different from the culture of that existing society, that present day of their time society, but it doesn't mean that they should take it, oh yeah, this is miracles. No. We have to be realistic. So that is Allah's sunnah. It is Allah's order, God's order, to create miracles for every prophet. That is human rights, if you like. Other people's right to see it and take this person seriously and follow him. No, you don't have to believe him immediately you may be suspicious, but no, something is different with this person. So take it seriously what he says. So try to make sense of what he says, that he received the message from the creator of the universe. That is sunnatullah. That is within the order. There must be, this must be understood within the order. So according to these people, we call it extraordinary. But according to the order of the universe, it's not extraordinary. The creator of the universe is creating everything miraculously. Why not this one? If you understand that the universe must have a creator, if you understand that, the universe, this universe must have a creator. So look at the universe. Your conclusion that the universe must have a creator requires that you have to understand what is going on in the universe so that you can come to this conclusion, saying that this universe must have a creator, otherwise it cannot happen. It cannot exist. So what brings you to this conclusion must be you are convinced that in order to be able to create this universe, one must have absolute qualities. So absolute qualities includes in it, anything happens in this world, I mean, from soil or from a seed or from a cell. The program is written in a cell which cannot be seen by naked eye. Which kind of program? 100 something volumes of information is recorded in a cell. If it is not miracle, what is miracle? So this one who creates the cell with this capacity must be able to create a miracle for a prophet in order to satisfy the need of human beings, human rights. It is my right. If this person is serious or not, who stands up in front of me and says, the creator of the universe employed me as an envoy to you. I just love it. Man, I can listen to somebody making, for example, reading a poem, and I enjoy listening to it, or singing, I listen to it as I enjoy the song, if I enjoy the song. But I wouldn't listen to this man. I would say it's crazy. Walk away. So miracles are necessary for the prophets. Again, I'm repeating this word. It is a human right. Now, if I hear this news, I have to take seriously the message of this person who is called the prophet or the messenger. I have to take it seriously as well. So the narration of the miracles are also important for me, even if I don't see it. Why? The narration is there. People took him seriously because of this demonstration. I say, oh yeah, really? What they did? They willingly displayed their life in order to sacrifice themselves for the sake of spreading his message. It is a huge matter. Huge matter. So I have to take it seriously as well. So this is the importance of this subject here, who appeared, the spirit, Gabriel, the angel of the message. So Gabriel brings to revelation, and all the messages that we hear in this word, we see in this word, not only prophetic message, this is the verbal side of it, or on the action side of it, the meaning in the creation of the universe, of creation of every single being, that the quality manifested there, you say, oh, that is wonderful, interesting, wise, what a wisdom, what's that? This is Gabriel's manifestation there. Message came. So we have to be comfortable here. To me, I'm comfortable by it. So Mary was alone, trying to understand the reality. What reality is, sincerely must be so, otherwise why God will bother about her? So she deserved to have an evidence. What she concluded, that we will understand in the following verse, that she said, I seek refuge with God from you. She developed the concept of God, but it is now time to make it certified by creating a miracle for her sincere supplications, sincere prayers. And angel comes, brings the miraculous news of the miraculous creation of God to her, to ensure that her conclusion was perfect. Believing in God is perfect. Trusting in God, we will study this in the following verses, is correct. And also, she experienced the physical miraculous creation of God directly, without the way we are accustomed with, ordinary way. No, without falling into the ordinary way, or into the category of the ordinary way that we are accustomed with. Otherwise, if miracle is within our accustomed way of experiencing the creation, when they are really performed through the demands of the prophets, by God, of course, they wouldn't be extraordinary for us. Extraordinary is for us, not for God. So it is our extra, because we haven't experienced it. Even if, for example, if we leave it within the time period of two prophets, one prophet came with the miraculous demonstrations. Another prophet came that we observed, and he also did it. It starts becoming somehow familiar, ordinary. Oh, every prophet is like this, as I know. For example, every seed, let's say, what's that? Let's say banana seed grows. I don't know whether banana grows with seeds. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, I'm not the farmer. So let's say apricot tree seed. Now, if you see that once apricot tree grows in the apricot seed, gives shoot and grows into an apricot tree, first time, you become amazed, crazy amazed. Second time, amazed. Third time, yeah. Fourth time, it happens in this way. So it loses its miraculous side. That's why I understand ordinary means directly related to our experience, not ordinary at all in their nature of existence. Not ordinary, but we turn it into ordinary. And then God creates, according to our capacity, an extraordinary miracles for the prophets. But in fact, they are ordinary, according to the way God creates. For God, they are ordinary creation. Oh. No. I think this was necessary for a symbolically perfect woman presented to us in the Quran in order to honor women, saying that, oh God, you sent prophets from men, not women. Do you think we don't deserve it? Look, Mary, I really spared a good chunk of my speech to you, titled it Mary, and I made a woman the best example as a woman, Mary. So don't worry about it. I didn't ignore you. Because of the nature of the mission, he has to go, struggle, fight, everything, and also be very resolute. This is according to the capacity of men. But women, somehow, if I don't agree, if you don't agree with me, tell me, please. I mean, the way that they are created is more sensitive, more fragile, and more emotional. That is how they are created. It's not wrong. It is perfect because they have to keep the balance between more rational, but emotions are really very much, very back, man. And rationality, it means not the reasoning power. Don't misunderstand. Reasoning power. Men, women, equal, how much we use it. But rationality in our practical side of the world. When I go to do shopping, my wife is inclined towards more colors, color harmony, and the way it looks, etc. I am inclined how solid it is, how the price is reasonable. My wife doesn't mind about the price. So we make the balance. Perfect. Allah's arrangement is perfect. No complaint at all. No one is superior or inferior, but everybody has his or her function in order to complete each other, complementary. So this is perfect to me. Inshallah, if you have anything, what I said, Quran also keeps this section, this balance. Men and women mentions the husband as the good man, woman as a wicked woman, and also mentions the woman, wife, as the good wife, perfect wife, and a wicked husband. So balance is there. We cannot really say the Quran is in a men, they call male dominated, the representative of the male dominated culture. Not at all. But the language in the Quran used mostly male form, masculine form, because of the nature of Arabic language. Arabic language, when the masculine form is used, includes both. When women, feminine form is used, it is related to women. But masculine form means women and men together. That's why lots of misunderstood verses of the Quran related to men-women relationship, family relationship, blah, blah, this kind of things that disputed over. No, the masculine form is the form of the verb is masculine. So Quran is mentioning about men. No, both, depending on the case. Depending on the case. So we cannot really make a generalization saying that here is masculine form is used, so fiqh rule must be valid only for men. No, depending on the case. Of course, this is not with the place we discussed fiqh matters or analyzing the Quran in order to really drive legislative matters. So that is not our subject. Okay. So this spirit appeared to have in the form of a perfect human being. Oh man, I say everybody dies for it. Perfect man, perfect human being in front of a young girl. That's it. What else you want? Especially nowadays, people are crazy about this kind of things. So let's go what will happen. So the 19 section, Mary, verse 18, قال إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك. Oh, very decisive voice.
Read the verse, please.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. أعوذ بالرحمن منك. I seek refuge from you in the merciful one. It means I cannot protect myself from you by myself. I cannot. It is interesting. It is important for everyone. For everyone. For men and women. For all of us. We have to know that if you want to avoid something, don't only say, it is not a commanding word anyway, don't misunderstand me, please. So we shouldn't say, I can protect my chastity. I rely on my free will or, very decisive power of choosing. No, you can try your best, but we have to seek refuge with the merciful God. It means, of course, with the merciful, Ar-Rahman is used in the Quran instead of on a, how do you say, replaceable, is it, there was a word, reciprocal or something. God, Allah, and Rahman is interchangeably used in the Quran. So when it is used, when the word this personal pronoun, Allah, it is all encompassing, including all the qualities of the Creator. So try to get one of them for you. But when it is used Ar-Rahman specifically, still it is God, but emphasizing on the merciful side of God. So I seek refuge from you in the merciful side of my Creator. It means as a result of his mercy, he, God, should protect me from you. I am aware of it. I cannot rely on myself in order to protect myself in falling into mistake. We have to say it. We have to have this understanding. And also, in our practical life, we should say, I have to try myself not to fall into the mistake, but at the same time, declare that I cannot be successful. Not only may not be, cannot be successful, only with the help of my Creator. But we may say, look, this is the word of order. Order doesn't change. So if you try, you get the best. No, it is not that simple, especially believing in the determination of God. I mean, creation of God in general, which is called in Islamic literature, belief in Qadr. Belief in Qadr is, to me, extremely important, but also we have to be careful when we say, I believe in Qadr, what we really mean. It needs a really serious, delicate study, investigation. Not say that I believe in God, that everything is created by God. Or it is not believing in God, that only on one side of it, which is apparent, everything is created by God. How about your actions? How about your capacity? How do you see it? What is the relationship between your choice and God's creator? Which kind of things you can choose? And God creates, which kind of things you can choose, but still may not be created, although apparently everything is created according to the order of the creation of the universe. But be careful, behind the scenario, God's free choice is operating according to your intention, your effort, your striving for an end. Behind it, absolute knowledge, absolute wisdom is in operation, arranging the order as to give the result to what God decides you should have this result. That is why only relying myself, forgetting that the results, arrangement of the results, although everything is created, this point is a very delicate point, please. If you don't have now time to think about it, take note, please. I'm not saying I'm saying a very important word. It's a very important belief matter. The order of the universe, according to us, does not change. Is it correct? Yes. But at the same time, the arrangement of the whole order as it appears to be is arranged by the absolutely powerful one's choices. Behind the screen, this absolutely powerful one is creating the universe, apparently as we see it within an order in space-time, and at the same time changing it again as we see it in an order. This one is, although it is continuously the universe, he changes the universe continuously. Nothing is static in the universe for two moments at the same time. Every time it changes the position. Every time it changes the quality given to it, every time. Whoever is realizing it, executing this kind of creation, must be absolute. The same absolute creator is taking care of the apparent order of the universe, how to arrange it according to our personal matters. Each person, that is amazing. That is amazing. This explains, if we really grasp this matter, this explains a lot why we pray, why we ask God to help us give the result we expect, Why? I mean, a materialist man can say the same thing. If you do this, you will get this. So what do you mean by, please God, help me to this? What do you mean that? Here is the order, no one changes. No. Order is continuously rearranged when the creation continues. We call it in time. But time means continuation of creation, nothing else. There is no time in creation. Time is continuation of creation, nothing but creation is happening as it is realized by an absolute being in constant way, because absolute cannot be divided. You know that. Logically, absolute cannot be divided. So you cannot divide time. It is constant, not continuous. Continuous is a good word, but not enough to emphasize on the absolute acts of creation, absolute manifestation of the power and the qualities of God is concerned. So this absolute being says, I know what is going on in your heart. Not because we hear it from the speech of God, but because we also understand in terms of this creation, the material creation out there, who created God, the heart? Who's changing the physical side of heart? Oh, sorry. Okay, alhamdulillah, it's over. But what is the difference between a believer and a non-believer as far as our relationship with the set order of the universe is concerned? We know that the order as it appears to be to us is set by the absolute power, knowledge, etc., but let's say absolute power of the creator manifests itself. So the other one says by itself, it continues in this way. Never change. It changes. It changes. How? In time. Creation changes. But in a regular way. That is what the way we call it ordinary. Most problematic word is ordinary, because we understand the ordinary as we know it, which is nothing interesting. But we should understand ordinary, it means anything created within an order which needs to be given existence, arranged by an absolute being, because this ordinary continues to change. This is important and exciting. That is why we have to, as Mary's example is presented in front of us, we have to try to protect our chastity, men and women equal, and then, because Qur'an makes it equal, not only for women, and also men can really spoil, corrupt his chastity, shuzuz, or whatever, nushuz, sorry, nushuz, for men as well, not only women, for men, possible. So we have to all be careful as far as we can know what to do in this world, train ourselves, etc. But at the same time, we have to pray. So I seek refuge inni a'udhu bir-Rahman. I seek refuge from bir-Rahman, minke, from you, from you in the mercy, a merciful one. So this prayer is expression of the speech, action, that I am doing it as a result of the creation of the merciful one. So I rely his mercy to arrange the case for me that I shouldn't fall into bad action, if you like. Yeah. I shouldn't spoil my chastity. All right. If you have God consciousness, if you have the same understanding, taqiyya. Yeah, yaqi is translated usually God consciousness. If you are a person, a being, she doesn't know it's an angel or anything, a being who thinks of his responsibility, that he has to be careful not to go against the way he is created. That is taqiyya. Waqa means really try to abstain from making mistakes, falling into anything wrong. Yeah, protecting himself not to make a mistake. That's why when that we are not studying Arabic language, so forget about this side. قال, now everything will be now exposed. إنما أنا رسول ربك. Don't worry, I am only a messenger from your Lord. I am not a stranger. So it is very interesting. لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. Oh, what is that? So to bestow upon you the gift of a son endowed with purity, a pure son. It means a perfect son, a human being. What is going on? So we understand that the word Rasul is used here for the angel. Innama ana Rasulu Rabbi. So we should say, we should understand this wider concept of the word Rasul. That anybody, anything brings God's message to us. Verbal message, I need the verbal message to be expressed through a mouth of a person, human being. Otherwise, I cannot hear the verbal speech. But as far as the creation side of the speech of God, again, the speech of God speaking to me through sending the message in creation. Now, this is called the meaningful side of the creation, that I can extract meaning. These meanings refer to or point to, they are signs to the qualities of their creator. They are not abstract meaning. No, they are signs to the qualities of the creator. So this is also a message. Those meanings are, as in the Quran, described as executed by Rasul or Rusul, the prophets. In this manner, Rasul and Nabi is different. I mentioned once, but I didn't go into details. I can explain to you now the importance of it. Messengers. Now, one day the prophet, somebody asked the prophet, please teach me a prayer that I should just say it in order to do my duty of supplication to God, the best form of the prayer. And he taught a prayer to him. Say this. Now I said, oh, this is a perfect prayer. So not I said, sorry, the man said, a companion of the Prophet said, oh, I really believe it's a perfect, meaningful prayer. He said, I really believe that Ente Rasulullah, Allah's messenger. Is there anything wrong with it? Yes. Why? Do you think Muhammad is not messenger of Allah? Be careful. Be careful. In order to make the difference between bringing the message of God in verbal form, belonging to God directly, has no right to play over it, change it, or any kind of messing up with this revelation, which is verbal speech of God, which is presented to us or transferred to us in the form of the Qur'an. So that is Rasul. So the Prophet said to this person, don't say Rasulullah. Why? It is not God's words. I extracted from his teaching, but it's my extraction, my recomposing it. Okay, the words are somehow chosen from the Quranic language. So Quranic vocabulary, that everybody is speaking Arabic, but Quranic vocabulary belongs to Quran's general meaning or general context. We should make the difference between Quran is Arabic, but the concepts are Quranic. We have to make a difference between these two terminology. Language is Arabic. Yeah, Arabic language. Okay. But the Quran took these Arabic words and gave them a meaning which became a conceptual terminologies, which makes sense within the context of the teaching of the Quran. That's a very interesting matter, very important matter if someone decides to study the Quran. Those translations are limited with dictionary meanings. They cannot transfer. You don't expect from the translation to transfer the meaning, conceptual meaning of the words of the Quran. It is too much to translate it. They have to write, if they know, pages of explanation, explain this concept within the whole context of the word. Context of the Quran. So it is a very fine thing to be aware of it, although it needs a great scholarship to do that. So we have to be careful not to reduce the Quran to its translation. Translation is just really dictionary meanings of the words, just loaded on the Quranic words. And if you like, not intentionally, definitely not, all the translators are sincere people, but kills the conceptual meanings of the words of the Quran. We have to know that we are dealing with dead body when we read the translation of the Quran in English, in German, in Turkish, in Arabic. All of them are in the same category. They cannot make justice to the meaning of the Quran. Just again, I'm repeating, dictionary meaning, it means nothing to do with the Quran, really. Quranic concepts, not the concepts, special concepts. So, why we got into this subject? I'm off the track now. So, messenger, we are talking about the messenger. But the Prophet said, don't tell me Rasulullah, the messenger of God, because you will think, then you say Rasulullah said this. It means as a Rasul, transferring the message of God. This is not God's word. This is not a part of the Qur'an. Say Nabiullah. Wow. MashaAllah. Very interesting. Why? As a Rasul, learns from the Quran and presented to you with within his own language, what he understood from the Quran in this form. This is speech of the Nabi, not speech of the Rasul. So we have to be careful while we are talking about the messenger of God, which is the translation of, again, literal translation of Rasulullah, and Nabiullah. Nabi is the translation of prophet. English translation is the prophet employed by God. I think this is important. Here, in Rasul Rabbik means I brought this message to you as God ordered directly to you. Now, I have nothing to do with it. I am not Nabi. I am Rasul here. Do you understand? Inshallah, I made it clear this. The details of the Quranic concepts really amazes me. Oh, there is something in chat. Let me see here. Okay. And memory. I qadar the same as fate as destiny. Qadar, I say, is qadar the same as the fate or destiny? Oh, thank you. To me, if you understand the concept of destiny, it is qadar. Fate is in English used in such a way that it's not related to qadar really. So we need both. We need both means fate and this. No, qadar and destiny. Divine for ordainment plus my free will. Okay. If I'm not sure, but I understand this way, and this is important. When you use we need by both, as far as our actions are concerned, it's a good question, deep question, short. That's why I find what do you really mean by both, and how do we really make the difference between my free will and God's ordainment? My free will is just asking, begging, please create it for me, and declaring myself, my not being able to realize whatever I am aiming at. But as far as this order of the universe, I learned that that is the way you created, so I attempt to this. But can I really create the result? No. That is important. I cannot create the result. To admit this, to realize this, I cannot admit the result. I cannot create the result. So, two aspects again, my friend. It's perfect. The perfect question makes it clear to me as well. Two aspects. One aspect looks to the absolute power that he operates from the appearance of the not changing, unchanging order of the universe to me, as it appears to me, so that I can communicate with the Creator. How do I ask him to create something for me? I learn from it, but every action I choose to obey the order doesn't give the same result. Everything is created differently according to the wisdom of God, but usually not apparent. The miraculous things happen, but without realizing it's behind the screen. God's mercy, God's wisdom is operating and arranging the appearance of the order of the universe. This is the difference between I am just asking, he is giving the final decision about, verdict about it, and creating according to his wisdom. But his wisdom definitely knows my action, quality of my seriousness, and also my feeling in my heart, what do I deserve? He knows it. This person deserves this. I can create it according to what he deserves, according to what he deserves. So Mary is here seeking refuge with God. It means I cannot guarantee my chastity, but with the help of mercy, I may be saved from you, from your harm. So the angel says, time is up. I cannot really control this time. إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. And as we read the translation, Lord sent to bestow upon you a gift of a son endowed with you. And Galet, I think we should stop here because this verse says, Galet, she said, how can I have a child when no man has ever touched me and I have never been an unchaste woman? I will leave you with a question with this last verse 20. Do you think Mary doesn't believe in God's power as to be an absolute power? That's why he said, oh, it is impossible. أَنَّا يَكُونُ لِي غُلَامٌ. Man, well, olacak. So I started speaking Turkish to you. So sorry. So it is not important. It is not possible. Come on. Don't make me fun of it. Or don't make fun of me. So why do you think? How do you evaluate this? I think I gave you the clue to you so that next week you will be ready. Yeah, that's what I guess you will say, inshallah. Any last questions, comments, anything that you would like to share commonly before I really stop the live streaming, inshallah? Any? Let me see, like in an auction. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, assalamu alaikum. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. Inshallah, I see you again. It's a beautiful, beautiful, very sweet to study the Quran, get into the something deeper than under the shallow, surface. So go a little bit down as much as we can. It is very instructing, satisfying, and we get excited that, oh, every word of the Quran is really revealing the truth of the reality of my existence, the reality of the existence of this world. So we know that we are on the safe side. Alhamdulillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.